Alright, so over the last couple of months, we've been getting a lot of questions here at Shira about the first sale rule. People want to know what it is, if they can use it to get around US tariffs, and in general some of the other considerations that they need to make if they're going to apply the first sale rule. So I'm going to take some time today to introduce the first sale rule, talk a little bit about its application in regards to the trade war, and discuss what investors and people considering using the first sale rule need to think about when they're considering whether or not this is an option that would make sense for their business. So as an introduction, I guess I'll start off by giving a brief overview of what the first sale rule is. The first sale rule essentially allows someone who's in the United States, a United States company, to change where it calculates the value of its goods. So I think I'll use an example for this. Let's say you're selling an automobile that's manufactured in China, sold to a wholesaler in Hong Kong, and then exported to a showroom in the United States. The company that's importing the car from Hong Kong currently calculates the value of the car based on the sales price between Hong Kong and the United States. If they apply the first sale rule, the company in the United States, instead of calculating the value of the car based on the transaction price between Hong Kong wholesaler and the United States, they calculate the value of the car based on the transaction price between the factory in China and the wholesaler in Hong Kong. So a lot of people have found that this is an interesting way that they can reduce their exposure to import tariffs in the United States. If you're calculating based on a lower price, the end import tariff ends up being lower. And a lot of people have also been asking how they can utilize this in the context of the trade war. Unfortunately, there is not a lot that people can do to leverage the first sale rule if they already have wholesalers in place and are leveraging the first sale rule. Because irrespective of where you import a Chinese manufactured good from, whether it's sourced from Hong Kong or Vietnam, the origin of the good stays in China, unless you significantly alter the manufacturing process to change the origin of the good. So the only time that the first sale rule really would apply to a company and allow them to reduce their tariff exposure in the context of the trade war is if there was a case where a US company importing from a wholesaler in Hong Kong currently did not take advantage and leverage the first sale rule. If there's already a wholesaler in place, that there's not really an option there, and in no cases would a US company be able to change the origin of their goods or to get around US tariffs or completely remove US tariffs as a result of applying the first sale rule. Where a company is interested in pursuing the first sale rule, there's a couple of considerations that they need to make with regard to the pricing of their transactions. In a perfect world, you could open up, you've got a manufacturing facility in China, you decide to open up an entity in Hong Kong and price your goods super low so that you can then calculate the import duties based on a really low price. Unfortunately, that's not something that would be possible in this situation. Under the first sale rule, companies are going to be required to comply with transfer pricing guidelines of the United States to ensure that the pricing meets an arm's length principle in this case. So for all intents and purposes, there's not a lot that can be done in that respect, and this is something that companies will have to comply with. This being said, taking aside everything that's going on with the trade war, the first sale rule is an interesting option for companies that are dealing with a globalized supply chain and looking for ways to optimize their export tariff exposure.